Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, friends from the media, good morning and welcome. There's an old saying in show business, I think it was Ed Sullivan who coined the phrase, never follow a children act or an animal act on stage. I would add to that, an opera singer. It's a privilege for me to be here with you today as this is truly a momentous occasion. Sands China Limited is honored to have with us today distinguished executives from Las Vegas, many of them, but in particular, the chairman and CEO of Las Vegas Sands, Mr. Sheldon Adelson, who had the vision where no one else did to see Cotai and see it through. Mr. Adelson, welcome. In addition, on the stage joining us today, Mr. Mike Levin, President and Chief Operating Officer of Las Vegas Sands, who has courageously and fearlessly led this company to today's opening. Mike? Today we are participating in the largest tourism project opening on the planet. With its sister properties across the street, the already well-established and resounding successes, the Venetian Macau, the Plaza Macau, the Four Seasons Macau, and the Sands Cotai Central is joining them to form an unprecedented, fully integrated resort city. Sands Cotai Central is placing the millions of business and leisure travelers that visit Macau each year at the center of the best of the Cotai Strip and the best of Macau. Sands Cotai Central is adding 5,800 hotel rooms to the Cotai Strip. To put it further into perspective, consider that the addition of these 5,800 guest rooms is increasing Macau's total capacity by 26%. With the Venetian Macau, the Four Seasons Macau, we will offer almost 9,000 rooms and suites in the Cotai Strip's inventory. Our luxury duty-free retail offering is the biggest in Macau as well. When the final phase of Sands Cotai Central is complete a year from now, Shops Cotai will be able to offer over 600 luxury stores and again represent an unrivaled diversity from luxury brands to an entire floor dedicated to family-oriented retailers and entertainment offerings. Led by Sands China, the market for entertainment in Macau has exploded over the last several years. Our state-of-the-art 15,000-seat Cotai Arena is far and away the best venue of its size in Greater China. The Cotai Arena has eclipsed our principal Hong Kong competitor, the Asia World Expo, in every measurable parameter, from the number of concert events to the number of sold-out shows. Our newly opened luxury Venetian Theater is one of our most luxurious entertainment venues and will be so in southern China, and will bring China the world's best acts to Macau in an intimate and exclusive setting. Sands China and Las Vegas Sands are honored to be in Macau, and we continually strive to make Macau proud of hosting the world's first integrated resorts. Our 20,000 or so team members, most of them local from Macau, have been working hard for the success of this project, and we are proud of each and every one of them. Thank you again for joining us today, and the entire Sands organization welcomes you and thanks you, and we look forward to announcing our next development. And on behalf of the 22,500 team members who make these beautiful buildings come alive, welcome to Sands Cotai Central. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edward Tracy. And now I would like to ask Mr. Adelson. As I mentioned earlier, the whole idea of integrated resort city was the vision of one man. And it all began in year 2002, June 26th, when Mr. Adelson stood on a large expanse of mud. But then you started the journey. So could you share with us what was in your mind at that moment?
Just want to check to see it's open. If it wasn't for the idea that I got about constructing, developing Asia's Las Vegas, you'd all be sitting in water. Because that's what was here before we built this building. When we were first given this plot of land to develop, I thought we were being exiled because the activity was on the peninsula where our Sands Macau was located, and that this would be the most difficult area to develop. So I went back to the government and said, thank you very much for the land, but I can't find it. And they said, oh, you have to have a little patience. It's under the water. So you got to find a way to bring it up. So we found a way to bring it up. The whole idea is to create, it is said that Las Vegas is a Disneyland for adults. There's no such place for Asian people. There's no Disneyland for adults. There are Disneylands, one building in Shanghai, one in Hong Kong, not far from here. And well, we don't have the multiple mega resorts that we now call integrated resorts. And the whole thing was to put up a whole series of different brands, whether they were international brands or let's call them unbranded, which have since developed their own rights to their own brands in Las Vegas. The name Sands has been around since 1952. So it's 60 years old. Is that correct? Yeah, 60 years old. We're the thing about parent corporation and our subsidiary here is Sands China Limited. I want to thank all of you for being here. This is a very impressive press conference, a lot of people, and it's just like when we opened the Venetian across the street 5 years ago. We had the same kind of interest from the press. So I want to thank you for coming here, and just don't walk in the water when you go to your room. I don't want you to, unless you have your swimsuit on, I don't want you to get wet or slip in the swamps that we hear. So having changed Las Vegas to a city of business and convention and leisure tourism, we're going to make Macau a city of convention, leisure, and tourism visitation. So I want to thank all of you for coming here, and we look forward to any questions you have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adelson. I'm sure you're proud to see your vision.
What we call an integrated resort. Las Vegas Sands Corp and Sands China Limited are the innovators of the category of entertainment called integrated resorts. That means that we've integrated all of the elements of entertainment that people would find independently. So if we put shopping, spine, showrooms, meaning entertainment shows, either Broadway shows or star performers or any other type of entertainment. If you look at, we're in one of quite a few ballrooms. These are what we call the junior ballrooms, as opposed to the big one, which is about modification to it, to make VIP gaming rooms at the top and make it a higher ceiling like this instead of just a normal hotel room floor. So we're redoing the plans for that. That'll cost another $500 or $600 million. But in US, I'm talking in US dollar terms. So it'll cost a total of about $5 billion. The only other property bigger than Cotai Central or more expensive is what we did at Marina Bay Sands, of which you saw a small part before we started the questions. That cost $6 billion. But $1 billion here, $1 billion there. Pretty soon you're talking about serious money. Now the second half of the question. It doesn't exist. That was brought about by a former CEO that we fired, that he made accusations that are groundless. We only deal with licensed operators in Macau.
Thank you. Sir? Mr. Johnson, my name is Andrew Scott. I'm CEO of World Gaming Magazine. It's a gaming magazine that focuses particularly on the Asian gaming industry. It's very interested to know whether you personally are aware.
I don't know how to turn on a computer. So if I can't turn on the computer, I can't get to a website.
So are you aware of the website?
No.
You're not. Thank you very much.
I'm not aware of any website. The fact of the matter is I don't use a computer.
You're not aware of the existence of that website?
No. What's the name of the website?
Casino Leaks Macau.
Oh, I've heard of that. I've read about it.
What's your reaction to it?
Well, it's a typical underhanded, dirty trick on the part of the unions to attack somebody that they can't unionize. They have attacked me in foreign countries outside of the United States because my employees are treated so well, they don't want to become unionized. The unions can't handle that. The employees are too happy without being the union, and they don't want to pay union dues for something that they perceive they're not getting.
There's a view.
Obviously, they have a disagreement with MGM in Las Vegas, and they're trying to attack them here by coming up with accusations. Our job as an operator is to obey the rules of the gaming authority, and that's what we do. Now, we can't, gaming authorities license the responsible people in any company. When those companies are publicly held companies, they can't keep track of who owns a share or 2 shares or 1/1000th of 1%. But the union guy is coming up with accusations that are totally and completely unfounded. They're designed specifically to cause harm or damage or reputational harm to some company. We're not a target of that, but we'll respond appropriately if we are targeted. We're not, we just obey the law.
The reason for existence of that website seems quite spurious on the website, and there's a view in Macau that perhaps the purported reason on the website for its existence is not the real reason. The real reason might be a political or commercial interest. Do you have any view on that?
It's not valid. The reason for it. The reason is very simple. They're the underhanded, circuitous way of trying to get back at somebody whom they can't unionize. And typically they can't unionize because the unions, the employees don't want to belong to the union.
It seems an incredible amount of energy and finances and resources to waste for a union that has 400,000 members and only 1,000 of their members happen to be employed in Vegas, yet they've clearly spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on research.
Well, if I were one of...
Out of all proportion.
It does. If I were one of their union members, I would go after them for spending my money frivolously.
Well, a lot of people are saying that that's not the real reason behind the existence of that website.
You want me to debate the issue with the website? I told you how I feel about it. There's no validity to it. I've never read it, never looked at it, and have no intention of looking at it. I can only tell you what I read in the press.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I am Masumi from MMA Hong Kong. Introducing casinos in Japan is being discussed now. In case it is approved that for casino business to operate there, would you consider doing the casino business in Japan?
Yes.
You mean in the two facilities that...
Pardon me?
The two facilities you said you were planning to make in the press conference in the morning, this morning?
Yes.
Do you do something like push Japanese government to approve casino business or not?
Well, they're already in the casino business. They call them pachinko parlors. Though there are 12,000 remaining. There were once 15,000. We obey the law in any jurisdiction in which we operate, or we hope to operate. Whatever the law allows in Japan, we'll follow the law.
Okay, next.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Ellison, can I know what is your vision for the parcel 7 and 8 in Kotai?
Well, that's a subject that I can't get into. It's a subject of discussion with the government, and it's not appropriate for me to discuss publicly any discussions we're having with the government.
Sir.
Cameron Plain from Almond TV. Mr. Adelson, knowing what you now know, is there anything that you would do differently in Macau after these 10 years? In particular, in reference to some of the difficulties that you've had with the Four Seasons apartments, lots 7 and 8, and any other Macau bureaucracy?
Well, I can't criticize Macau bureaucracy because we have one in the United States. No, we have a lot of them in the United States. So, look, my feeling is, if I don't like the way a government operates, then I shouldn't go there and operate there. Are there things that I might do different? Yes, I might do things different. But, life is not a series of look-backs and an opportunity to change what was already agreed upon. So what I have to do, my plans for Macau, we were brought in, to the best of my knowledge, because of my personal experience and our company's experience in the mice field. I was once the largest independent mice organizer in the world. And they wanted to change and diversify the Macau economy from just gaming parlors to what we'll call today integrated resorts. We are the only true integrated resort operator. I mean, other competitors say they're operating integrated resorts, but if you compare the various components amongst each of the 6 gaming operators, you'll find that Sands China Limited stands out by encompassing all of the elements in a substantial portion. For instance, our exhibition, our mice space might cover, I don't know the exact percentage, I'm preparing a piece for that, 15 or 20% of the total amount of space. But I look at other properties here, they don't have any. And yet they call themselves an integrated resort. But the greatest diversification for the benefit of Macau is MySpace. That will bring in the multi-night, overnight stay customers. And without that and the other elements of integrated resorts, they're not going to do that. There's 125 countries with legalized gaming around the world. So nobody travels just to gamble. People travel for either business or leisure purposes. And we think our integrated resort business model covers both the leisure, MICE, and business travelers. And nobody else does.
Can I just compare Macau with your experience in Singapore?
Okay.
How would you rate that?
They have a bureaucracy too, you know.
Was it much easier to do business in Singapore compared to Macau?
Well, I can't say, at the risk of offending anybody, but the point is that as each destination opens, there are more lessons to be learned from the opening of earlier destinations. So the last guy that opens, at the time you asked the question, the last one that opened was Singapore. So they take advantage of the pluses and minuses, the positives and the negatives of previous venues, previous locations. So can I say, one day, I suppose one venue, one country will get it perfect in what people and operators like us would like to see. But I don't know, I hope I'm around that long.
Questions from over here?
Over here.
Anybody have a question?
She had a question. She has a lot of questions.
She does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
What is the current
Do you have any answers?
with the-
Not about sunshine.
What is the current situation of the Steve Jacobs lawsuit? And if you prefer to bring the lawsuit here in Macau instead of doing it in Vegas?
We are waiting for our appeal of the, or retrying of the decision vis-a-vis bringing the case here. This is a disgruntled employee. It's not as though he was an authoritative, long-term, better than everybody else, holier-than-thou employee. He was with us for 1 year. He doesn't have everything right. He's a very, very clever attacker. He's very clever. I got to give him that. But he came up with a lawsuit saying, I wasn't fired for the 35 reasons that SCL said I was fired for. I was fired for the following reasons, and now I want these reasons heard in court. Under Massachusetts, that's where I come from. Under Nevada or U.S. law, anybody can bring a case for what's called a declaratory judgment. Anybody can bring a case for anything. And the only recourse the accused would have is to, when the case is finished in favor of the attacked, not the attacker, can go after the attacker for frivolous prosecution. And that's what we intend to do when all of his accusations are proven unfounded.
One more question?
What do you mean, one more question?
Two more.
I told you I don't want to do this.
I have a long one outside.
I don't care. I'm going to talk to these people.
Can I just have a quick follow-up question? Just a while ago, Mr. Levin said that he would prefer to bring lawsuit here to Macau. Do you agree with
I'm sorry, I can't hear that.
Earlier just now, Mr. Levin said that he would prefer to bring the lawsuit here to Macau. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I said that. We're trying to bring it here. It belongs here. To sue a foreign corporation cannot be sued in a foreign state. So he is suing Sands China Limited outside of its home country, Macau. So he's trying to sue it in the United States, and he won on that, but we appealed that to the Supreme Court, and we won, saying that there wasn't sufficient detail in the decision not to send the case back to Macau. The trial judge did not issue sufficient explanation for giving her a decision. So we appealed that to Supreme Court. We won, and now it's back with her. So, listen, we think we're in the right. We know we're in the right, and we're going to try to bring justice. There was nothing. This man is not an omnipotent businessman. We did a bad job by bringing him on in the first place, and now we're paying the price. But in the final accounting, when the case is heard objectively, not a single thing that he says will bear up. There's no proof to anything. The whole purpose of the suit was to be able to cause us damage and reputational damage. The suit wasn't, and for him to get money. Much more money, many times more than he would have been entitled to.
Regarding the Madrid-Barcelona fight to get the integrated resort in Spain, are you taking, I'm with Macau Media, I don't know why, they put me in this list.
They what?
I'm with Macau Media.
What do you say?
Go ahead, ask the question.
What's your question?
Yeah, regarding the fight between Madrid and Barcelona, are you taking advantage of the fight between two regions?
What I suggest, because
No,
afterwards we have the Spanish media
Okay, I can do it then.
So you can use afterwards. You'll have the right to ask a question.
Thank you.
That's what's involved in it.
Miss, right here.
The business 40 years. It's like anybody that's been in any field for a long time. They form their opinions based upon their own experience. My experience says that given the central government has announced that they will give special convention visas to come here. Bear in mind that for 2 or 3 times over the last 5 or 6 years, the central government has cut back on visas and not make it easy for us to attract conventions. And then there was the issue about having enough ferry traffic, enough ferries to bring the people that want to come. So with all those issues, the ferries, the visas, the absence of ferry facilities, all of these things add up, and they don't help with bringing organizers. But we still believe that Macau can be a successful city with the MICE business, or we want to build all this MICE space. Another one?
I read an article saying that you are having conversations with the government about a health project in Macau. Is it true? Is it true that you are thinking about building a clinic or a health center related with drug addiction or something?
Oh, we've already done that. My wife set up a drug abuse treatment center based upon the experience that she's had in her country of Israel and where we live in Las Vegas. So she has 2 drug abuse treatment clinics, and this is a labor of love for her. We call the other clinics the Adelson clinics under our family name. But my wife didn't want to take away from the hard work and the very good work that the health ministry here in Macau can do and is doing. So she gave them the procedures and the protocol to achieve the same 80% success rate that my wife achieves in her other clinics. So we've already done that, and it's very successful.
So it motivates you, having achieved already so much as an individual, to want to keep developing new resorts, such as the mega resort in Spain? What drives you?
It's not likely to be an option for me, and what drives me is the ability to achieve something. That's what drives entrepreneurs. The desire to achieve something that we haven't achieved before. That's what drives me.
One last question.
Okay, these 2 questions.
1.5.
First one.
All right, we'll compromise.
I would like to know your opinion about Cotai, in a sense that a lot of concessionaires or operators are aiming Cotai to build new infrastructures. I would like to know if you're afraid of this kind of competition. And also another question, I would like to know if this process...
Everybody knows that there's no justification to Jacob's claims. And when all the facts are found out independently, Jacobs will have been found out to have been completely wrong. And there's no justification. You might as well say that I have to be as defensive as somebody who worked for me for a week, as somebody who worked for a year. He didn't even get up to speed in a year's time. So Jacobs, as far as we're concerned, has no merit whatsoever. And what was the first time for you?
Are you afraid of your competition coming to Cotai?
No, I love competition. I love it. First of all, I want you to look back at what the competition said in 1970. No, I'm not sure. In 2004 or 05, as we were planning the Cotai Strip, everybody said we were going to go into bankruptcy. Nobody believed that I could turn a swamp and a bay into the Cotai Strip. We own the name Cotai Strip. That's been trademarked, it's our possession. And now everybody wants to come here. Go back to the articles that were in the newspapers in 04 to 07, when everybody projected disaster for us. And now it's sort of comforting that everybody wants to come here. They attacked the idea of setting up the Cotai Strip. Now everybody wants to jump on a winning bandwagon. Like I said this morning, I'm sure you all heard me. If you won the lottery for $100 million, would you want to share the winnings with your competitors, with people who lost in the lottery? They don't have a basic moral right to come in and say, well, we're one of 6 concessionaires, so divide up the Cotai Strip. The government should consider that nobody wanted this land. It was scheduled for a firecracker factory. It was scheduled for a TV studio, what they call Studio City today, Macau Studio City. That's what it was supposed to be, a tourist attraction. Nobody wanted to come here. Everybody thought it would never, 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 never succeed, except me. And now everybody wants a piece of it, of people ending up with what we call a compulsive behavior. Compulsive behavior is a category of behaviors from which people do drugs, drink liquor, overeat, overshop, anything that's done to an excess, to the negative harm of the individual. This is society's role. The government should have, and does have, a role like the clinic that my wife set up to take care of drug addicts. That's society's role. It's not an operator's role to go out and manipulate the social welfare of the public. We don't have a right to do that. We just try to, anybody that is not, we're in the gaming industry, we try to help people game responsibly, and I think that's the maximum that we could do. Otherwise, we'd be invading the privacy of citizens over which we have and don't want any control. The corporate responsibility of a good corporate citizen gave us experience to deal with those less fortunate. So we do everything we can to help our people who can't help themselves. And we support hundreds and hundreds of charities, and we'll continue to do that. It's just the way that we are. We're good, responsible corporate citizens. I'm sorry that we don't have any more time.
Sorry, Vietnamese are